the party out to the pool.
You sent for us, Mr. Crackerby?
Yeah, we're giving a big bang-up party a week from Saturday night, and I want this done right. I want more decorations and more lights, and the pool area, I wanted it decorated. I want it to look like a fairyland.
Like Venice?
No, like downtown Tulsa.
Mr. Crackerby, can you tell us the nature of the party, the occasion?
I'm giving a party for Viscount Wellecliffe, and don't you look surprised.
Viscount Wellecliffe? Viscount Wellecliffe. Well, I'm certain that we can arrange something appropriate. I'll worry about the decorations, and Pierre, from you, I want something thrilling.
Something thrilling? Excuse me. Mr. Crackerby, don't you think you ought to wait until you find out if the Viscount is coming before you start all this going?
He'll come.
Perhaps saumon fumé, quiche Laraine, lobster flambé, tornado de bœuf.
This is going to be a barbecue.
Barbecue?
Barbecue. I'm going to feed this guy like I would if I had him back home. Chili and beans, enchiladas, and I'm flying in 3 whole steers.
You cooked a whole steer?
Well,
It's easy, Pierre. You just need a big casserole.
Get a long, long pole and build a big fire. Fill the pool with charcoal.
It's for you, Viscount Wellecliffe's secretary.
Howdy.
Lord Wellecliffe's secretary here. Is this Mr. O.K. Crackerby?
Okay, Crackerby, that's me. What's the good word?
Sir, may I ask, who are you?
Well, I thought we settled that. I'm O.K. Crackerby, Stillwater, Oklahoma, USA.
I know what USA stands for, but what is BBQ?
That's barbecue, little buddy. Wait till you see what we're going to have. First, we're going to roast a couple of hogs down deep in the coals where they come out so finger-licking good you can't stop asking for more. And then we'll have the best steak that you ever wrapped your lip around. I'm flying in 3 prime steers from the ranch. And we'll have stacks of good old yellow corn just sliding in butter, and everybody gets his own personal keg of beer to wash it down with. And to top it off with, I'm personally going to mix up the finest batch of real old-fashioned churned in the bucket ice cream you ever tasted. You know, churned in the old open bucket. Plenty of rock salt to make it good and cold. And just before I serve it, right on the top, I spread a nice, smooth film of good old Applejack. How does that sound? Terrific?
Mr. Crackerby, Viscount Wellecliffe sends his regrets, but he is unable to attend your barbecue.
You trying to tell me he's not coming?
Mr. Crackerby, Viscount Wellecliffe sends his regrets.
Oh, look, this is silly. I'll talk to the Viscount myself. Sure, why not? He's staying at Mrs. Standish Willoughby's. I'll just go over there, and she'll introduce me to the Viscount, and then I'll... Oh, boy, she's not speaking to me.
Why not?
Oh, you wouldn't be interested.
Well, yes, I would. She's not speaking to you because you're working for me.
Oh, you think that's true?
Is it?
Yes.
That's something. I hire you to get these high muckety-mucks to speak to me. Now I've got to hire somebody to get him to speak to you.
Please, Mr. Crackerby, give me a little time. I'll get to Viscount Wellecliffe somehow.
In 1 hour, I'm going to call and start Operation Judgment Day on his lordship. Do you think you can change his mind in an hour?
I'll try.
Have at it.
I'll wait until they take the charcoal out of the pool and then refill it with water, and then I'll drown myself. And so, dear lady, I turn to you in my dire need.
The whole thing sounds crazy to me, St. John. What can I do?
Well, you've got to get Mrs. Willoughby to let me see the Viscount.
She isn't speaking to you.
Susan, This is war. I've got to get to the Viscount. I feel like Paul Revere, only I have to warn the Redcoats the Crackerbys are coming. By the way, you look pretty cute today.
I'm sure if Paul Revere had stopped off the neck, we'd all be singing God Save the Queen.
All right. If you won't neck, then you've got to help me with Mrs. Willoughby, okay?
Okay.
Susan, thanks. And you don't have to worry about Mrs. Willoughby. We'll face her together. I'll be right behind you.
Say, why don't you try some of this stuff with Mrs. Willoughby? She might start speaking to you again.
Hello, Susan. How very nice. You must have known that I'm not speaking to him.
Mrs. Willoughby, please, it's an emergency. St. John's very anxious to talk to Viscount Wellecliffe.
Hi, Mrs. Willoughby.
Viscount Wellecliffe is not in.
Please, I've got to speak to him. It's a matter of life and death.
I am not speaking to you.
Mrs. Willoughby, my position with Mr. Crackerby is that of a teacher. I'm tutoring his children, and I like it. I'm trying to help them become fine, decent, good, intelligent, good people, very much like you. Mrs. Willoughby, you're a very attractive woman. And I've always thought of you as a friend. My father always said to me, St. John, he said, if ever you need a friend and there's no one to turn to, there's always Amelia Willoughby.
He always called me Amy. Well, I must say you have his good looks. And some of his ways. I never could stay angry for very long with the Quincy.
Then, you'll let me speak to Viscount Wellecliffe.
Dear boy, he isn't in.
Please, my time is almost up. I've got to see him.
But he's not in.
You mean he's really not in?
Oh, I've already told you twice. Viscount Wellecliffe is not in, and I don't expect him back this afternoon.
Slam me. Start it moving. Operation Judgment Day for Viscount Wellecliffe.
Right, boss. We're ready to go.
Slam, just a suggestion. You might start out with his Canadian newspapers. You can get to them quick.
Good idea, boss. We're rolling, boss.
Have fun, Slim.
Right.
Mr. Crackerby. Viscount Wellecliffe. I took the liberty of bringing him right up.
All right, Holbrook.
I took the liberty of bringing him right up.
All right, Holbrook.
Well, I've been looking forward to this, Crackerby. I imagine I should have called first, but I thought it would be friendlier to just pop over.
Oh, this is a friendly visit, is it?
Well, I hope so.
I'll bet you do.
I beg your pardon?
Go ahead, make your little speech, but I'm warning you, it won't do you any good.
It won't do me any good for what? Look here, I simply came here to...
I know why you came here. Because St. John Quincy got to you and warned you that I was hopping mad, and you figured you best mend a few fences.
Who the devil is St. John Quincy? What have you got to be mad about, and why should I care if you are mad?
You know, I've got to hand it to you. You got a lot of spunk, even though you are kind of a little Lord Fauntleroy.
How dare you talk to me like that?
What are you going to do about it?
Why, you presumptuous, grinning gargoyle, I won't stand for this.
Then why don't you sit and take it? And while you're sitting, be thankful that I don't know what you call me, because I might lose my temper and bust your nose as well as your business.
Did you say bust?
You don't need to squint like that, because it's not hard to understand. It's just a simple American word with no excess letters. And it means, little man, I'm going to plow you under.
You're going to what?
You heard me.
Why, you big gas bag, don't stand there with your eyes popping out like organ stops and talk to me that way.
What?
I've chewed out better men than you before breakfast and then taken on the rest of the family for supper.
I hope you're not the kind that backs down and then spoils everything at the last minute.
Listen, you, I've never backed down from a fight in my life. You name the game, I'll play it. What's it going to be? Bare nooks, knees in the belly?
Well, now, we can't spoil this with too little room.
Sir, will you help me with the table? Let's move it.
Now, laddie Buck, I'm going to teach you something about manners.
Manners, eh? From a lout like you.
I'll show you what it means to turn down an invitation. Come off me, Crackerby.
Come on, don't stand there blowing your whistle. Invitation to what?
Don't play games with me, little man.
I honestly don't know.
The party I was given for you that your highfalutin social secretary snubbed me on.
What?
You think that's what started all this?
You bet your bottom dollar it is.
My secretary didn't turn down your invitation to try and snub you.
It's done a pretty good job of snubbing me anyway.
Listen, my secretary was told to reject all invitations to everything. I came to Palm Beach for one reason only, to see you.
To see me?
On business.
On business?